Is it a car? Is it a truck? I'll let y'all decide. 1971 Chevrolet El Camino 350 automatic AC. Let's take it for a test drive. El Caminos have always been an interesting vehicle for me here at the dealership. And I call them a vehicle because it can be a car or it can be a truck. It depends on who you ask. So I go with the middle ground and call it a vehicle, and I'll probably call it a truck, and I'll probably call it a car during this video. So whatever y'all want to call it, I'll let y'all do that. But I am a huge fan of El Caminos, especially ones like this at this price point. It is a 1971 Chevrolet El Camino. It has a non-original 350, but it runs extremely well. It is topped with a 2-barrel Rochester carburetor, probably why it runs so well, because the motor hasn't really been messed with. It has good power. It cranks right up when you pump the gas 1 or 2 times. It fires right up every morning. It is backed by a turbo 350 3-speed automatic transmission, and then you do have your standard 10-bolt rear end in the back with a highway gear. This El Camino will cruise at 65, 70, even 75 miles an hour if you want it to. Very, very comfortable out on the open road. It is not a race car by any means, just a really, really good cruiser. Has a nice set of aftermarket dual exhaust with stock style manifolds still. Nice muscle car sound to it going down the road. When we do our return trip, I'll really get into the throttle a little bit more so you can hear that exhaust, but a good sounding El Camino. Power steering, power front disc brakes, all your standard creature comforts. Makes this very enjoyable to drive out on the open road. AC has been converted to R134A. Below's nice and cold. The only 2 disclaimers on this one is the AC does work, but it's only working on like the low and the medium setting. When you kick it to high on the blower motor setting, it's not really getting any more volume than the medium setting. So maybe a new blower motor at some point. But right now I do have a good volume of AC coming out of the dash vents. When you switch it to the defrost or the floor, it's not really switching. So it's coming out of the dash and all the vents. But when you go down up underneath the dash and the defrost, it's not really switching. So a couple small little things there. Everything else is going to be listed as a yes. On my Does It Work section, you can find that on the website, pcclassiccars.com. In the additional informations tab, or at the end of the photo set, you will see a screenshot of it. So check that out again on the website, pcclassiccars.com. On the interior, you have a factory saddle interior. You do have an aftermarket dash cap. My guess is the original dash pad probably has some cracks underneath it, but it's got a nice dash cap on it, shows well. You do have a little spot that's kind of coming off on the dash cap a little bit where it could probably be pushed down just a little bit better. You have a really nice comfort grip steering wheel. You have 3 aftermarket auto gauge gauges where temperature gauge, oil pressure, and voltage gauge, and all of those are working. You do have an aftermarket JVC stereo, which shows well. But overall, interior-wise, it shows like a stock interior. Some little bit of waviness on the door panels down low, but they do show nice, and the seat cover and the headliner are in really good shape. We'll roll into the throttle here a little bit. Nice shift. Then you're in high gear and we're just cruising. On the underneath, this El Camino came from out west. It is very, very solid. The floors are excellent. The frame is excellent. I do not see any rust issues, rust problems of any kind. The only spot that I found is on the passenger side rear wheel well. There's a small little repair job in there, extremely minimal. Again, a West Coast El Camino, and very, very solid. Bottom side really, again, represents like a nice original underneath. On the exterior, this was originally a Placer Gold El Camino. Now it's obviously white. I do not know when the color change was done. White is a great color if you ask me, with the black SS stripes and the cowl hood and the saddle interior. It's just a really good combo. This is not an SS El Camino, but you do have the SS wheels and you have the cowl hood to make it look like an SS. I would take it one step further and buy the SS emblems for the grille, the fenders, to just take it to that last 5% to make it really look like an SS, but that's just personal preference for me. If someone wants to leave it just like it sits, you can, because it does look really cool. On the paint quality, you have some touch-ups down low on this door over here, some miscellaneous little imperfections around the vehicle, but nothing that's jumping out at me, no major problems, just some little scuffs, little flaws from it being used and driven, which you are going to get on any vehicle. In that additional information tab, again on the website, pcclassiccars.com, you will see photos of all the little nitpicky things that I personally walk around the vehicle, take the photos and upload those so you guys can check them out. You do have SS El Camino wheels with white letter BFG tires. The tires are a 2024 date code, so no dry rot, no problems of any kind. Tires are ready to go and do not look like they have many miles on them. Suspension all performs great. You do have a front stock style sway bar. You have aftermarket coil assisted shocks in the rear. The rear end, again, is a 10-bolt rear end, has a highway gear in it. Front suspension checks out like stock equipment. Probably mostly original, but it performs well. The steering is nice and tight. The steering is actually tighter than what it would have been from the factory. My guess is someone has probably done a little bit of work on the steering at some point because it is so responsive. No shakes, no pulls, no rattles coming from the suspension. It is a good, tight driving car. Driving position is very comfortable. It is a manual sliding bench seat like you would expect. It is a non-tilt column, but the steering wheel isn't crazy large, so there is still a decent amount of room between the steering wheel and the top of my legs. You do sit up a little bit proper, but it is, again, comfortable. You can clearly see out over the dash and over the hood. I like where the armrest sits. You do have an aftermarket little removable center console here with some cup holders. I love my cup holders, so if you want to take this out, you can, but that's kind of to each their own. All your glass is in good shape. Couple little nicks in the windshield. You do have some little scuffs on the driver's side door glass over here. You will again see photos of that in that additional information tab, but all the glass is easy to see out of. Side mirrors look good, rear view mirror looks nice, back glass doesn't really have any problems. I'd say the worst thing is the little nicks in the side window over here on the driver's side, but if you have to, you can have that replaced. Inside the bed is all clean. You have some little scuffs, little imperfections on the bed floor, but overall it is nice. I actually really like the fact that it doesn't have a spray-in bed liner. Most of them do. That one does show well. If someone wants to do a spray-in, you can, or put a bed mat in there, kind of to each their own. The tailgate opens and closes properly. When you open that tailgate and you look down in the lower corners, that's a really bad area that El Caminos get. They're really susceptible to getting rust back there. This one is very solid. Inside the engine compartment is very clean, shows well, nothing's out of place. Fluids checked out good, radiator, core support, inner fenders, wiring, all of that does show well. Charging system and battery also checked out good. So the disclaimer list on this one is really short, down to some imperfections cosmetically, which you're gonna get. At the price point, this is a fantastic car. Under that 30 mark is definitely difficult to get, especially for a nice rust-free car. And then having AC is just a huge bonus. So this is a really good value El Camino. Just an awesome car front to back, or truck, whatever you want to call it. Good shift again. As always, I'm Mike. This is a 1971 Chevrolet El Camino with a 350 automatic cold AC. From myself and everybody else here at PC Classic Cars, we really appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of our test drive videos. Check out that additional information tab on the website, pcclassiccars.com. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Make sure you check out the content across all of our social platforms, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.